So I decided to read Chainsaw Man once again, and I don't regret it at all. So look, we're actually witnessing a lot of stuff in the anime community. We're looking at animes and mangas that are really like pushing the horrors and gruesomeness of reality, and they are really good stories. Like some of these series are even pushing the political, socioeconomical, and emotional aspects of life without even losing a touch of fantasy and surrealism. Chainsaw Man, alongside Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen, are actually carrying the anime genre at the moment, and Mappa Studio has been putting tremendous effort and work into fleshing out these two amazingly did I say these two? These three amazingly well stories. With the new chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen being out, we can expect a lot more world building, and the Shibuya arc seriously ended with a bang. And there's Attack on Titan, written by Isayama. He's the last chapter of Attack on Titan is to be reckoned with, and I think after that I'm gonna have to close a page in my own life. But there's also a third series that hasn't been getting a lot of light, but that is currently rising. Honestly, when I heard that this one was getting an adaptation, I was kind of surprised. And look, Chainsaw Man. I already read Chainsaw Man once, and in my opinion, it is a manga to be reckoned with. Fujimoto has delivered an amazing story that is not only promising, but also on the border of fantasy and sanity. When I first read through Chainsaw Man, I couldn't help but to try to understand what the message of the story was. Not within the panels themselves, but with the situation and overarching idea of the world that Denji inhabits. We got to follow him with his beginnings with Pochita, and when he becomes a devil hunter in the public sector. Denji's transformation literally reshaped the societal norms for devils and devil hunters, and Fujimoto, the author, really does it so well with our main character, who at the beginning of the manga, he actually had really futile goals, let's be honest. You know, they were kind of... Okay, just look at this panel and then you'll know. It was nothing that was going to shake the world, but enough that we understand that his dreams and ambitions were never overlooked by the readers. And with the latest chapter, a whole new world of possibilities just opened up for him. Even if the story of Chainsaw Man was written in such a chaotic, colorful fashion, there are still holes in the story that need to be filled. Makima's implications in the government left a giant ripple in the international power structures, and that effect can cause massive changes for Japan. We might get to see organizations from other countries, notably America, Germany, and Russia, try to take hold of the top dog by using devil hunters and devilmen to their advantage. And Makima, or I should say the control devil, having reincarnated into Nayuta, it is a possible scenario to see what devils are capable of doing when guided away from unnecessary violence. Makima's identity was super fluent for most part of the story, and seeing how different characters would interact with her very well hid her true nature. Her revealing her plans to Aki was actually a big stepper in the story, as we get to understand the situation surrounding other countries and the Gun Devil. Makima was clearly the anti-villain of the story. I personally wanted to see more of Makima throughout the story. Her character actually engraves herself into one of the most memorable evils of shonen, but Makima's stance are just wildin'. Like, we see the new control devil throwing a peace sign, the same peace sign that Denji put up many times in his first missions in the public sector. Reminiscent of his old personality by offering Nayuta what he himself never really got in any sort of genuine fashion. As he states it himself, his feelings were pretty much manufactured, so we may see a more organized, responsible main character whose personal life is much more implicated with his feelings towards others and not really built by a third party. Expect a lot of hugs from Denji to Nayuta, and also some scenarios where Denji is going to have to choose between his own personal feelings and the overall wellness of the population. Man, in part 2 of Chainsaw Man, this could be his greatest weakness. I mean, depends on Fujimoto, obviously. We know for a fact that Denji is missing a few screws, but yeah, we're probably gonna see some major progress from our main character. My personal favorite is actually in chapter 71, with Denji realizing that the knowledge of someone or something does not really result in any kind of emotional attachment or excitement. The only exceptions I would say would probably be Makima and Riz, because they themselves were actually very agile in the art of seduction. He was always been the character that was used to fulfill others' purposes. Seeing him on the previous events and realizing that Makima truly was not aware of Denji's true feelings but could only acknowledge him by smell. Oh, what? This is an incredibly well written piece of artwork. Fujimoto is a big dog. Look, now Denji is literally carrying the weight of the people who died around him inside out. Yeah, literally. Carrying his love for the woman who really never hated Denji but was deeply infatuated with Chainsaw, and taking care of all the dogs that Makima once owned, like, he really loved her. The painting within that manga clearly depicted what is to me Denji's understanding of the situation. Going down the rabbit hole, if you could say, or the fallen angel. The painting that said the final piece that Denji was missing. The painting that encouraged me to go back and read Chainsaw Man once more. Witnessing Makima become the evil feared by all for the first time flipped his perspective on her. And clearly, I imagine that in that moment, he was able to rethink about all the people referring to him as Makima's dog, and what it truly meant to be manipulated physically through his desires, mentally through his wants for affection, and spiritually for the spirit of Chainsaw Man or Pochita. The beauty that he seeked for so long actually stayed beautiful in his eyes. It just became the alluring beauty of evil. This is what this one panel did to me. This is gangsta. After this arc, expect a lot more complexity and vigilance with our main character. Power also had amazing moments. She played a big role in Denji's victory against Makima, and I hope to get to see more of her, if not the Blood Devil, in the next part. I genuinely laugh at Power's characterization, man. She was funny. Like, little moments that did not need to be lied about was her specialty, and I cannot forget her groundbreaking moments and trauma from experiencing the Darkness Devil. We got to see her in the most prideful and vulnerable moments, and I'm glad Fujimoto added her in the story, as we wouldn't be able to see the full extent and the mindset of the devils and devilmen. A plus to that. And Aki shaped up his own destiny to be caring of Denji and Power. One of the reasons for Denji to be acting this way is because of the loss of his own family and, of course, his beloved partner, Himeno. Best girl, by the way. Him showing some kind of consideration towards Denji and Power actually hit home, and he's a very caring person by nature. You can tell that even if it was drawn on paper that he did not want to see them end up the same way as Himeno. The future devil played him bad, which adds another layer to the devils themselves. This one specifically enjoys seeing the potential of others, whether it's for the better or for the worst. Being the kind of man Aki is, I understand his fate and turn of events in a very unforgiving environment. Fujimoto, I really like your writing, but making Aki do the things he did was kinda twisted, man. I like it. Pochita is adorable. We have not seen any appearance of the Four Horsemen yet, and they're definitely powerful beings to be reckoned with. I hope to see them in part 2, and we'll see how they manifest themselves in the series. As Suffering said it, Chainsaw Man really is charming the world. I'm definitely going to keep covering Chainsaw Man chapters in the future. Yeah, something like that. Drink plenty of water, stay blessed, GT out.